Summertime in East Texas. Schools have let out, pools, lakes filled with people trying to stay cool. Kids are in summer camp and young athletes are training for the fall. That means many of us are spending time outdoors, which adds a lot of stress on our body because of the summer heat. If you're working hard enough, dehydration can sneak up on you quick. Here's what that may look or feel like.
So someone looking at them is going to notice they're a little more fatigued than everybody else is. They're a little lethargic. They're kind of slowing down compared to all the people around them. They may start getting confused. They may, if they're counting reps or if they're trying to perform a task, they may just have a little bit of confusion with that.
Dehydration, when left unnoticed, can lead to several issues, including an unwanted visit to the emergency room. That's why it's super important to drink water early and often.
Ideally, you want to make sure that they're hydrated before even going into the activities. Naturally, we usually wake up very dehydrated.
Water becomes more important once physical activity begins, so make sure you build in time to rest and hydrate.
When it comes to performance and playing outside and everything, we like to give athletes at least a 10-minute break for every hour out there.
As performance level increases, so does the importance of drinking water and eating right. Just ask Coach Tutu Brown.
When it comes to athletes and what needs to go into the body and the kind of work that we put out here at the track, you have to put it back in. You also have to prep the body for the heat that it has to endure in practice. We talk a lot about proteins, good ones, bad ones. We also talk about hydration, heavily about hydration, because we've had in the past kids that pushed it to the limit, and it showed in their performance.
Metro Track and Field in Tyler has some of the top athletes in East Texas. They take care of their bodies in the summer heat, and it shows when they dominate their competition. But don't just take my word for it.
I make sure I'm hydrating basically all day, drinking water. I actually haven't had a soda in probably 9 months since track season, so really just trying to take care of my body, make sure I'm in the right shape, because I have had those practices before where I eat something bad and I can definitely tell.
I would say one of the biggest things is having a good diet, because if you don't have a diet and you go and train, you can train your butt off, but have a horrible diet and all that training's just going to go to waste, because there's not going to be anything to build that strength back up.
Mainly water. Like, you can drink Gatorade, Powerade, get electrolytes, but mainly water just because how hot it is.
It's as simple as drinking lots of water and eating healthy, but these steps will go a long way in protecting your body this summer. The sun can also leave a lasting impact on your skin. Here's Savannah Hale using the science of summer to break down why it's so important to wear sunscreen.
Let's talk about SPF and sunscreen. You know it's important, but do you know why? Let's hear from dermatologist Lisa Lowry.
SPF stands for Sun Protection Factor. It's how we grade our sunscreens and their performance. We recommend that people use something that has an SPF of 30 or above and is broad spectrum, which covers both UVA and UVB rays.
Maybe you have a love-hate relationship with sunscreen. After all, it's kind of greasy and it leaves that white residue on your skin. The number one reason people get burned is not using enough sunscreen.
Most people don't apply enough. A shot glass full is about what you need to cover the average body, and you're going to want to reapply that every 2 hours.
It comes in all different sizes and forms: spray, gel, lotion, stick. Even some makeup and moisturizers have SPF in them. Apparently, they're all equally effective.
Some people like gels or lotions, especially in hair-bearing areas, because it's not as greasy and it won't affect how your hairstyle looks. Other people like the creams because they need more moisturizing. But they're all going to provide about the same protection with the SPF number.
And don't skip the sunscreen when it's cloudy. You can still get a serious sunburn.
Yes, absolutely. The clouds really only shield maybe 20% of that UV radiation. So I tell people, if you can look outside and it's light out, then you need to put your sunscreen on.
Are you still not a fan of sunscreen? There are multiple ways you can control your sun exposure. Wearing sun protective clothing and limiting your time in the sun from about 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. are other easy ways. We don't want you to think you have to hide from the sun this summer. In fact, Dr. Lowry left us with this.
I think sun exposure is wonderful. I know I'm not supposed to say that as a dermatologist, but there's not much that I love more than my morning walk. And I think it's really important for us as human beings to get outside, get a little light in our eyes. We just need to be smarter about it.
Curious about what's going on in our waters? Dive into the science behind algae blooms and eutrophication when we come back with the Science of Summer.
This CBS 19 weather special is sponsored by Stonewater Roofing, Accurate Home Services, and Gas and Supply.